I'm Amy. I met Kitty probably a couple of years ago now. I guess I was at a point in my life where a lot had changes had happened the 2 previous years prior. I went through a divorce and that had changed my financial status quite greatly. Being stubborn and independent, I wanted to do it on my own, and came with that some pitfalls. And I think I got to a point where I knew I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I was meeting repayments and making sure everything was ticked off, but I was pretty miserable and working myself into the ground. And I think at that point, I hadn't had the banks call because I had started to recognize that every paycheck that came in, everything was going out. And having to look to go, okay, what can I shave off my budget? And oh no, I can't shave anything off my budget. Well, that means I need to do more overtime. And I already work full time. So picking up extra shifts was running myself into the ground, but was too scared to pick up the phone to the bank to go, what do I do? Figuring that they wouldn't really care. They just wanted their money. And just, I think just doing normal day things of, okay, well, how much do I have left for groceries this fortnight? And knowing that, the rent always needed paying and those things needed paying, but had this very big stigma of didn't ever want to not meet my loan requirements, because what would happen? I had a car that I couldn't afford to lose because it was my lifeline. So I think I wasn't sleeping and I was miserable and scared, didn't really know what to do. I'm not actually sure how I came upon Kitty. I think actually I do know. It was recommended in a single mom Facebook group. They're like, oh, if everybody's having any troubles, this is who we highly recommend. And it was just by a whim, late at night, feeling tired and exhausted, that I just sent an email through. I think the first thing was getting over that shame of, oh my God, how did I get myself into this kind of spiraling state of, yeah, I can pay everything, but life's miserable. I didn't really, by the end of the phone conversation, I was like, whatever they can do, I'm happy. Like, it's got to be better than where I am now. But I think the constant staying in touch, the constant letting me know where they were at, what they were doing, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect, when they weren't happy with what one of the banks had given them, that they were like, that's okay, we're not settling for this, we're going to do this. And I was like, oh no, that'll be fine. And they're like, no, that's not good enough. And they advocated on my behalf, and I didn't expect that. I expected, them to go, well, this is what we're doing. Yep, the banks have said this, we're following it. But they pushed when they weren't happy with the solution they were given. And I was extremely, extremely grateful for that. I think when we had many of the conversations that later down the track, a conversation of, this is what we've agreed with this bank, that will be X, I think it's like 8,000-9,000 off this. And I was like, yeah, okay. And it wasn't until I actually got the letter in the mail from the bank, and I was like, oh no, they really did agree to this. And there is no, this is the agreed amount I'm going to pay for the next 4 years. There's nobody's going to come and change that. Nobody's going to impede that. And as long as I pay that, which was significantly lower, I think I had been paying, I want to say 500-600 a fortnight across 2 loans. And now I pay 350 a month. And that's it ticking away in the background. I don't have to worry about it. There's no, so I saved, I'm going to say at least $10,000 at least. And that was I think for me, the money value, amazing, but the sleep and the weight off my shoulders was far, I can't put a value on that. I think when you get to that point of going, oh my God, how did I get here? There's also so many other emotional things going on. Like, I had gone through a divorce and I'd got to this point, and then the shame of, oh, I'm a divorced female and now I screwed up my finances. I can't tell you, I'm supposed to be adulting and I'm sucking at adulting. To then go, well, actually, you know what? I've owned this. People have had my back and supported me with this. So actually, they made me feel like I do have this. I am adulting okay. I'm doing the best I can. And I think the constant, even after a lot of the negotiations had finished, still touching base, every conversation started with, how are you, Amy? Not about finances or how's work. It was very personal. They knew, anybody that I spoke to from the company knew me as a person, my job, my children, so it was very much like a friend calling, how's your day? And I, in turn, Maxine and Kitty that I got to know, when I speak to them, I feel like I'm speaking to a friend. How's their lives going? What are they up to? Which was huge for me because of the associated, I guess, shame that I had that I got to that position. And only a couple of my close friends had known that. But then had these total strangers who, for me, knew that from the get-go about me, but never judged me on it, saw me as the person who I am. And I think when you've got a lot of other things going on in life that make you your emotions all over the place and you're questioning where you sit in society, having that constant, just kind, caring person who, yes, it's their business, but they are actually out to help you was for me was massive. I haven't taken my children on my own on holiday, and that was an absolute dream for me to be able to show them that, you know, if you work hard and do things, then anything's possible. And I think speaking to Kitty and the team enabled me to be very upfront with my own children of things are expensive and we have to pay, and enable them and give them the tools to make sure they don't end up in a position like I did, but also have a very frank conversation of, if we, you know, look at what we're spending to an extent, we can put some more money aside and we can go on holiday and we can do these things. And they're probably conversations I'd never really had with my children before, thinking that as an adult I didn't need to bother them. But actually, I think if the whole family is on board with a goal, I'm the only earner, but you know, they're going out every day for a cake and a coffee. Well, actually, if we just go out once a week, we can put more aside and enabling them. So I think chatting to Kitty and Maxine, that gave me the power to have those conversations with my children. Kitty and the team empowered me and gave me back my sense of, I guess, empowerment over finances, which has enabled my little family to travel to see our wider family back in the UK, something that we haven't done in over 6 years and something I never thought would be possible. So the memories and the things we will gain from that, the family that they will meet that I was scared they'd never get to meet, is, you can't put a price on that. It really is, what they've given us is just something I don't think they'll ever realize. No amount of, I can say they've saved me thousands, and they truly have saved me thousands, but the memories and the experiences that my children will get next year when we go back can't be measured. I think what harm is the phone call. And I think I had got to that point of, what do I have to lose? And I think if you're sat there worrying, lost, you know what, a phone call to Kitty and the team, you'll instantly feel relieved. You'll instantly go, you know what, I don't know what they can fix for me, but they're beautiful people. And I'm so glad I picked up that phone. So I think, as I say to people in the job I do, if you're sat at home worrying about something, pick up the phone. What is the worst that you're going to get out of it? If you feel at the end of it, you've not achieved anything, well, then you've not lost anything either, because you're not just sat there. But I guarantee you will achieve something, and you will be grateful that you picked up the phone.